This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka Trading Agent. Live market chat Wednesday, November 22nd, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. Happy holidays! Happy holidays! Yeah, hopefully everyone is doing well. I am starting to dial in some shorts, defining my risk, getting after it. Use this morning's strength to short a little more. Again, I'm not sure the upside targets because of light volume due to extremes that can potentially pop during the holidays. As we know, it's like OPEX. You can stretch it out each way, but it's looking a little more, I don't know, in my opinion, just max capacity. But who knows? I mean, that's the thing. That's trading. You're in a probability game. If someone's selling you on certainty, they're certainly lying to you. Ain't nobody got all the answers, homie. I always say this to people. Sorry, my straightforward conversational hominess, brotherness. But at this point, let's just dig into it. Have any questions? Again, please don't hesitate to interrupt. If you're in the Discord room, please interrupt. Ask a question. Again, reading people talking about I'm trying not to be mean anyway, but I'm 490. Someone said watching for the 490 level, and I'm 490 on NVIDIA, 490 on MicroStrategy, 490 on Netflix. What are we talking about, Willis? What are we talking about? People have questions? We'll see. All right, link to the description for the Discord room below. I mean, welcome to join. But please, this is getting so annoying. I get folks that come in and you see they just come in and they just drop, they come in and they drop these oh, blah, 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 DM me to get started. What's up? If you join the Discord room and you don't introduce yourself, to me, you're a bot. I mean, you want help? Come on, hang out. I'm sincere here. This is genuine. All here to help. So, link description's at. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. You know all the deal. Tradingagent.com, Twitter. Lots of, posting a few things on the Twitter. Posted this morning. I was watching where is it? Where are you? The Qs. Oh, I guess I only did on the Discord room. Was watching this little pennant on the Qs, and oh no, it is, and it went a little higher, and then it gave it all back. And let's check the 10-minute. Let's go to the videotape. That's a good place to start, right? Give me 2 seconds. I will show you the QQQ 10 mito. No, it's minuto. Come on, know your Spanish. Know your Spanish, hombre. There it was. Why is this chart look oh, I know I'm using a different. I've got so many different charts. Give me 2 seconds. I don't know, maybe I deleted the bottom of the pennant. Whatever, it doesn't matter at this point. There was the breakout. Yeah, I got different charts. I don't have time to go back and redraw it, but watched it. It's let's see what happens up here. We got above it. No, why are my lines shifting? Did anyone just notice that? It just shifted. Okay, there it is. Oops, there it is. So, at this point, yeah. I'm not sure I understand. I don't understand either, Siri. Why are you going nuts on my watch? So I'm watching that. I mean, again, how much higher can this thing go? I don't know. But I can't remember the last time I had a straight line move like this that just was bonkers. I mean, again, and so here's the thing about monthly flow, and here's where value of experience. Just like a month, any month, if it's down or up, if it's down big, there's going to be profit taking. Or there's going to be chasing of the winners and selling of the losers. My thinking at this point, very clear. Overbought, extremely overbought, straight line move. Novice, another baby little novice gap. Get everyone wee-hee, NVIDIA's earnings again, which is interesting because NVIDIA is down. Everyone's all excited. So again, if you're sitting here going all in and not putting a stop in, good luck. I mean, that's not what we recommend. I mean, no matter what you do, you always have to have a define your risk. Defining risk is crucial. So watching Qs, short, got a short on there. Got in near-ish the highs. Because again, when it started ripping, I had no clue where it was going to stop. I mean, that's the thing with traps, right? I'm hoping it's 392.63, but it got up to 393.05. Like people just sometimes forget about it. Like traps are literally meant to wipe out. Whoa. This line has just got dancing fever all over it. Maybe if I zoom out, it'll even move in more. Okay, that was the pennant. That was weird. Anyone notice that? It just changed on me? Let me zoom back in. It like disappeared. No, that was weird. All right, either the mushrooms are kicking in or my lines are redrawing themselves because it was like poking up this way. Anyone else see that? Man, those mushrooms are strong. Just kidding. Interesting action. There it is. That's weird. It changed on its own. So back to that. QQQ daily. Quick, keep an eye on it. SPY. I mean, we talked about this. I mean, I think I said it all week, last week. I wouldn't be surprised if we get into this gap. Right? Get into the gap. I don't know. Let me see. Where's this old line come from? Okay, so that line comes from prior stuff. Okay. I mean, zooming out. That's what's sometimes hard. You get too many lines. Demasiado lines. So, I mean, ultimately filling the gap. Right? So, keep an eye on it. You know, another thing we kept an eye on, was talking about this morning, like, look at oil. Like, oil is down big at the open. $3 a barrel. I know we got the USO, but here. Well, all right, let's go back to, yeah, look at this wick. Wicky. Interesting, right? Like oil opens down $3, coming right back. We talked about OPEC is going to want to cut at some point, but they're really pissed. You know, we said no trust amongst thieves, right? No trust among thieves. So let's check out some of the other things I'm just kind of eyeballing. TLT, gap up and flop. I mean, look at the volume. It's just like consistently every day, 10% less, 10% less. Dollar, said watch the 29s. Oh, hello. Is this the bottom? We'll see. Keep an eye on it. VIX. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I think Sabalina said 12s. I think I puked in my mouth when he said it. But clearly, he was right. I'm like, no way. I was like, maybe 14, maybe even 13s, but chopping. Well, there you go. VIX, look at this. Or, sorry, Vixen. I mean, if you want to take shorts on in the Qs, it makes sense here. Yeah, VIX is going to 0. And where I got to give credit, again, because I always like to give credit to people when they're right. I'll be wrong. If he or she is listening, who was it in the Discord room that said they thought that the VIX, I think it was RJM 212. Got to give her credit, Rebecca, if she's listening. She was the one who said that she thought the market could, again, not necessarily go back up to the highs, but was just saying like the VIX could get absolutely destroyed. If she has a chance to talk about why, I'd love to give credit where credit is due. Because that's what I love about this, is that I will not know everything all the time. I can't. I'm just a person, one person. So back to the Qs. Again, another doji. IWM. Another retest of lagginess. Keep an eye on it. Dia. Caterpillar was down pretty big with Deere earlier. Genuinely curious to see what happens here because you did fill the gap. Baby gap. See it there? Filled the baby gap. Gold. I mean, this has been all over the place. Now, again, this is where I feel bad for folks who just don't understand it. Like, I mean, I posted on some guy who has. Here, again, this is me not trying to like be mean, but see if he responded. I'm just curious. Replies. I think I replied to. Yep. When do you think precious metals will stop disappointing the people who own them? When the Feds pivot. Duh. Let's see if we got any notifications. Oh, thanks, Bank. You're the last guy to reply. Yeah. Silver. Oh, it's like, you got to go to the charts, Dingleberry. Just nothing. I mean, you would think if gold's about to break out to new highs, why is silver not in the mid-20s at least? Right? Like, go back to gold again. Something doesn't seem right. We all agree? We all agree. Okay, thank you. Doesn't look right. GDX, of course it's down today. Of course it's down when the market's up. It's down when the market's down. It's down when the market's up. It's up when the market's down. It's all over the place. GDX should be in the 35 level plus, like staging for the breakout. Why always comes later? It's because the Feds haven't cut yet. Secret. We'll see. If it rallies, impressed. My buddy George was talking about Newmont. I mean, I think they had some like copper mine, and they've been buying companies. Again, I think they'll get rewarded at it for some point. But this company, I mean, again, it should be in the 40s, maybe 50s, not so much. But I will say, I mean, how many shares? That's almost 100 million shares. And now, again, I don't know the market capitalization of shares outstanding, but I'd be willing to bet that is a ton of shares. Like, I mean, was that the highest volume day ever on this thing? Huh. Last time it did that, it went rally. It went from 30 up to 87. Okay. Now, again, I'm not saying go out and buy Newmont today, because look what it did, right? After it bottomed, a couple days later, I don't know, like weeks later, it rallied, and it went sideways. This sideways, man, that's crazy. Nice COVID. I'm trying to think if there's anything else like it. Anything else like it? No. I mean, that's my biggest worry. It does this. This gets caught in the chop cycle. Nothing like it. Okay. Again, put a little arrow. Boop. Something doesn't make sense. Somebody got squeezed at the low. Yeah, I can wait for the miners too. That's how I feel about it. I'm like, I'd rather short tech. I mean, again, maybe this becomes the biggest epic mistake of my life. I don't think so. But I don't know anything for certain. But again, tech inputs, because again, this is the thing. People are anticipating like inflation to like unwind. I'm like, I don't think commodity prices are. We have a serious, interesting issue with debt and dollar funding of debt. Everyone does. NVIDIA earnings fishy as heck. Yeah. I mean, Singapore reported like 20% of their earnings. Someone's stockpiling chips, and it's like, that's going to be funny, because what happens when they get stuck with all of them and then they lose half their value? Like, this ain't gold or Bitcoin or commodities. They're just like, someone will make a better chip. Chocolate chip. Interesting action, right? Like long wick. Keep an eye on it. Just, again, I mean, it's tough to short it, and I'm glad you don't, we talk about don't chase. Like, if you shorted this morning at like 480, you're like, it's freaking toast. Get out the jelly. And then what? You're going, oh, shit. You're going, oh, shit. Oh, snap. I shorted this at 480. Oops. Yeah, no, that's not what you wanted to have done. Now, can it rally back? I don't know. Yeah, stockpiling chips is like the cloud vendor stockpiling switches and routers during the supply chain issues during COVID. It bit the vendors. Yeah, it bit the vendors in the ass eventually. Yep, I agree. Stuck with inventory. Not good. All right, so here's some of the trades I'm shorting today. Costco. Yeah, sales right up. 590. I mean, if you watch on the, here's my 10-minute. Dingleberry. I don't know why I got dingleberries in my mind, that whole joke, but watching this area. So far, so bueno. Yeah, sales dried up and I got stuck. We talked about looking for Starbucks. Didn't get as much as I wanted. Caterpillar talked about. Again, I'll just show you. Goldman Sachs, JP Mo. I was just watching this 338. So far, so good. JP Mo, because again, it's all based off of the XLF. Another doji. Maybe it doesn't drop today, but who knows? My man Ratha Khan pointed out to like essentially backtesting the trend line because move it a degree and you're there. I mean, we're close enough for government work. Another novice gap, like stair step, like A, B to C, C to D leg. Like it's now again, I wish I could say with certainty. It just seems like it's a little stretched out. Now again, maybe this is just a quick drop. And that's how I'll trade it. And I mean, again, it just really depends on what happens. But this is not healthy. I always tell you, like, this kind of move is not healthy. Like, straight line moves have no support. And when people get, like, no one was shaken out, right? And so once the wave crests, it's the last one out. Is a rotten egg effect. Does that make sense? No one got comfortable adding and moving around their positions. It was just up, 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 up. Okay. Now it goes down. We talk about velocity begets velocity, straight line moves leads to straight line moves. Shorted the fruit today. A lot of people are like, it's going to 195. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But at this point, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18 days of basically up, right? Because again, it's not actually, I mean, it's 18 days to go from 165 to 193. Their sales are going to be absolute garbage. China's going to be absolute garbage. I mean, they're giving away, go to Verizon, trade in your own iPhone 13, or sorry, your iPhone 7, whatever, how old it is. Get a 15, an iPad, and a watch. Ouch. Like, I don't remember them giving away product that easily. Maybe they'll hit their numbers, but damn. Their margins cannot be good. They're already trading at a 31 PE with no growth. What happens if you're trading at 31 PE and negative growth? Could Apple really sustain up here? I'd be remiss to say if I thought it would. Could and should. That's not good. So Apple, obviously, easy short up here. Just, again, define your risk. You just trade at 192.50 to 191 and change where I'm at. I mean, I think I got average now 192.20 or something like that. Great. Great balls of fire. Just be safe, okay? It just doesn't make sense. Look at the 10-minute too. This is fun. What? Why is it tripping on me like that? What? Why did you do that? That was weird. Anyone seen that? My charts are just, it's like, man, Q charts or E-signals, like, we're going to confuse you. You had a channel low. You tested the channel, how you got back into it, and then we're back out of it again. That's so weird. What is going on? Again, but remember, that's all about steepness and amplitude. Keep an eye on it. Apple, I mean, again, if Apple goes negative today, I think the Qs are going to hold up. I don't think so, Tim. I mean, there's so many other shorts out there that look juicy. Netflix, we talked about on the weekly. Coming into the zone. Keep an eye on it, right? Good old Tesla. Man, this was up at 244. I don't know if there's obviously with some news. There's no way this is down 3% on no news. Give me a second. Gotta be something. Gotta be something. No, I guess not. Not off the top of my head. Not on briefing. Well, that's interesting. I mean, just retesting the blue zone. SMH, we talked about just blowing, like straight lining. Look at this big wide and loose. What is that? Is that the North Star? Is that the North Star there? Again, if you watch this video afterwards, drop a comment, North Star. Just curious. I always love seeing who sees this stuff. They're saying must social media causing investor backlash. Of course. Of course they are. Of course, because Musk has a social media platform that isn't regulated. Someone said he was like an anti-Semite. Isn't he a Jew? Right? I don't know. No, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just kind of laughing at this. It's like, when in doubt, just attack everyone's character. right? Mass hysteria. Oh, Elon's a bad guy for wanting free speech. Okay, again, I always tell people this, like, you want free speech. You want dumbasses to speak in public. You don't want them hiding. You want to be able to see their comments. You want to see, let them speak. You don't have to agree with them. Oh, but you're inciting violence. What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense to me. No one can make me do anything. Oh, but you'll give other people inspiration. No, it's, again, you need to know. It's better to have open dialogue and logically explain why something is not good or good. Everyone has the right to talk. It's like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And again, you might agree with certain positions that are going on in the Middle East. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. Your beliefs are what you believe. We should have a civil discourse. Maybe it leads to peace, you bastards. Oh, this out loud. Yeah. Yep. So, again, a lot of people don't like talking about that, but I just think it's very obvious. Very obvious. Let people speak. You're right, entitled to an opinion. I don't have to necessarily agree with you, but I'll listen to you. I don't have to agree with you. There's a difference. If I have a strong point of contention and value in my conversation, I should be able to articulate it. I disagree with why the market should go up. Should they ban me because I'm short? You can't talk about the market's going down. That's illegal. Or going up and, only up. I mean, it's just... These conversations are so dumb. Only people who can't argue their points want to silence others. I have an open mind. Convince me. If your argument is correct, I want to hear it. If you believe it's correct, let me judge based on your articulation of, say, the fruit. Say you think Apple's going to 195. Explain to me why. No problem with that. Investigating car explosion in Niagara Bridge. Okay. If you think, again, it'd be like me saying, regulating, no shorting Apple up here. Okay. Does that seem fair? And then when it happens and it dumps, and then everyone's like, well, we weren't able to hear the side of why it was going down. That stuff drives me nuts, man. Drives me nuts. Intellectual property, added some of that one. Shorty McShorterson today. Love it. Little 3-day range high. Hopefully you saw that. What else? I mean, I've got a little short basket. I've got a short basket. And we'll keep an eye on it. Again, got Q's, intellectual property, Apple, JP Mo, Goldman Sachs, and Costco. Probably should be adding the Amazonian. We talked about the chopping up here, but I'm always worried that, again, not worried, but always cognizant that Black Friday's coming up and they could be a benefit of that headline. I don't think Apple's a benefit of Black Friday. If they're selling their products at a discount, that's not good. If Amazon is shipping discounted Apple products, that's good, right? Right? Makes sense? Make dollars make sense? So, any questions? Again, I love the input. I love when you guys get involved. Again, this is not a channel that lacks freedom of speech. You have the right to your opinion. If you want to tell me I'm wrong, please do. Sell me on why I'm an idiot, because there's going to be times where I don't know everything for sure. I mean, you can't. It's just a matter of fact. It's the reality of life. None of us here are always right. It's a probability game. It's like telling me that I'm going to play poker and every hand I play in, I'm going to win. I never have to fold my hand. Wrong. Fail. Dumb. Man, I really wish Starbucks would have popped up some more. Catching up slightly behind live. I just think the market is irrational. It's really hard to know what levels will get hit. Jordan, I agree, and that's why I don't really care about the levels. I'm kind of waiting. As the more we get into the holiday week and the way we rallied, I just expect profit taking into the end of the month. That's all I can really expect. And again, will it be like a dumper? I don't know. I just know there'll be some weakness and I'll trade around it. But why does Apple have to go to 195? I don't get where, like, what's the logic? How many more dojis can it run? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Like, why does it have to get to 195? Again, I don't understand. Like, again, you have to take in all facts, right? You have to point all the charts, like XLF. You have to look at some of the other indexes, and so many other things. The VIX. I mean, for that to get to 195, it would have to be on news. Like, that's my opinion. Look at the VIX. No, there is logic to this point. You have to paint the picture of all of the indexes. Like the VIX in at extreme lows. No, I agree. Like Jay saying, like 190. I didn't expect 192, but again, at this point, now as you confluence all data together, it makes sense here. Maybe it gets next week. Now, let's, like I said, like maybe next week it could happen, but near term, I mean, it's hard to like point a picture and go, well, look at every index, look at all the market, look at the markets, look at the bonds, look at the dollar, look at everything. It's like it's gonna struggle. And here, well, wrap right through it. Here's my logic: bonds peaking out, in my opinion, near term. Dollar bottoming out, right? VIX extreme Regeneron, extreme lows. My wife loves making that Regeneron. Vixen extreme. Vivix bottoming. SPY got our levels. 455 fills the gap. Qs Regeneron. Doji over highs, bull trapping. Showed it on the 10-minute. Trappy. IWM hits resistance. Failing. Dia fills the gap. Please mind the gap. Right? Gold. Here you go. Here's all my logic. Hits and retests. Fail. Silver sucks. Miners suck. Oil. Gap down. Rallied back. OPEC gonna be talking. Again, we showed a lot of the tech stocks. Right? XLF. Channel. Trend. Back testing. Keep an eye on it. Transportations. We talked about the 100-day. Novice gap. Right? XHB. Right? Getting tired up here. Right? Like, I mean, you can go through all the charts. Right? NVIDIA's action off of earnings. Interesting. Tesla reacting. I mean, again, is it 100% certain? No. Nope. But based on what I'm seeing, and again, time is your friend typically, right? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days after this gap. And this gap to me will end up being a problem. Right? It's like this gap down here was eventually going to fill. Right? You know what I mean? Vern? Like zoom. Now again, this is where it gets so hard. People are always so like trying to nail it. Like it has to happen today. And that's where it's like, no, that's why you layer in, you catfish it, right? Or whatever that joke is. QQQ, right? Like you got some levels up here on the weekly. I mean, could we backtest the trend, like this old little trendy line? Maybe. Again, I just don't know how to like tell people like, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 days, basically straight line move back to the highs. Again, logic is not always the key to trading, right? Like, so we all agree on that. But again, you paint the picture together. Things are starting to get tired. Things are overbought as a whole. The market goes into the end of the month taking profits. Right? Like, again, that's what always happens. That's why I always talk about the first of the month, the first three business days of the month are really usually inflection points. It can be peaking times. Peaking duck. Right? Peaking duck. Right? Here you go. Here's like the 28th, and then that's an OPEX, right? Here's an end of the month. Right? You see? You'll see. Do you see what I see? Right? November's, I guess that's more of a, sometimes it doesn't always, but this is why we talk about like the odds of such. I'm trying to think of like, let's go back to, what year was that? Oh, here you go. Here we go. Thank you. November 2021. 11/22/2021. God, I've got a good memory. I would just take this. Remember, nice run. October. I guess it's more of a November, but look at this, right? 349 up to 404. Zinger. And maybe it's just this, right? And then it goes and there's your Apple 195, Jordan, if you're paying attention, right? Like that's maybe when it happened. Does this make sense? Anyone listening? Am I talking to myself? This is what I'm expecting, right? To get this boom, pull back. Was it the 23rd, 24th? It's always weird. Yeah. Just keep an eye on that. Because maybe that's what we're about to go through. A drop, a pop, slightly higher, bam. Step into a Slim Jim. I don't know. Any questions, thoughts, concerns? Because again, I like challenging. I like being challenged here. Like, and again, it's not like you're challenging me like personally. It's like, well, this is what I was thinking. Cool. Here's what I'm thinking. Cool. I'm staying out of it. Yeah, the AM traps again, but that's the thing. So, this is the hardest part for people. Space Pete, because you got a good question, good point. When you start trying to get in near the lows, you're gonna see AM dumping, but then eventually it turns around. Like the pivot points aren't easy; they're trappy, and so the more it holds up here, and this is why. Eric, you're probably paying attention to Jay Soul. Again, some of you guys, why did I say be careful? If like the market, if you need to stop out last week, cool. Don't worry about it. You'll probably get some action over the holidays worth shorting. Monday's action, awesome. Tuesday, kind of a dead day. And what did we always wait for? I mean, we always had in the back of our mind, we need to watch out for NVIDIA earnings, right? It's just part of the game. It's just part of the game. I wish it was so fucking easy. Excuse my language. I wish it was. It's just not. But you give me the Wednesday of freaking Thanksgiving up. I mean, I'll start rolling the dice a little harder here. I will absolutely start rolling the dice a little harder because this is just straight line moves. So these are good points. But what I'm saying is like straight line moves are usually the bottom and the top. That's what I always tell people. Like, you can chop out, yes. But the straighter the line, the move, the more that it can potentially get really wild. And so again, maybe the Fed's are about to pump the liquidity train back on. And that's why the market's rallying. I don't know. I mean, none of us know for rates for sure, but that's where it gets a little interesting. That's where it gets in it. Did I miss NDAQ? I see you talking about that. Oh, shit. Where's that? 55 and change? I don't even know why I didn't think of this one today. Yeah. Another little baby novice gap. Yeah, little wedgie on the SPY 10-minute. No, I agree. I mean, it's all of our upside target. I think you even called 456 or 455, Jordan. I'll give you credit for that. Oh, we talked about it. We got a lot of comments. Makes sense to me. Chopped into January and dump. Yeah. Yep. It's getting clear. Some of the names are obviously, definitely seeing some tired. Do we get a dump into the Fed pivot? That's the roll short gain. Yeah, I mean, that's, oh man, I wish I had that chart. Give me a second. Maybe I can find it. Give me a second. I wish I had a better storage for certain things. No, I mean, it's, as we know, the market going into the Fed pivot starts heading down, and then the pivot is the dumper. So, do we get a Fed dump? Yes, I'm with you. The move is stretch. Have you been trying to layer in, but just tough? Stopped out earlier. Added back to SPY play today. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the nature of the beast. It's gonna be tough sometimes. That's why when it's good, you take money out, you pay yourself, you make sure you don't just go back jumping into the pool aggressively into your next trade. Like just simmer it in, let it come to you. Take a deep breath. SPY looking quite wedgy. 10-minute. Let me pull up. This is a 10-minute. Let's see some wedginess. All good stuff. I appreciate you guys. I love the insights. I love the thought process and being able to talk about it. Yeah. Well, also look at the weekly. I keep pulling this up. Like, look where we're at on the SPY. I mean, could you get a little higher? I guess that's always possible. It's always a little possible. Yeah, the 10-minute definitely is looking wedgy. No doubt. I agree. Fit corner pocket. Oh, that's probably not the best way to draw it. I don't know. Some shit like that. I don't like to connect those extreme wicks. Yeah, there you go. Let's just sit here for another 10 minutes, see what happens here. That's interesting. Let's keep an oil on it. You got the oil on the prize, mate. There's a rumor of a new pneumonia coming out of China. Wow, we talk about headlines and all sorts of fun rumors over the holiday shortened weeks. That one would not surprise me one bit. A new pneumonia. Great. Awesome. Well, I'm glad I have an immune system. I don't give a shit. And if I'm going to die because of some sort of airborne disease, I don't know about you guys, but I don't care. I'm not scared. I've never been scared of dying. Can it really get any worse than this place? I always kind of joke like that. People are like scared to death, and I'm like, I don't try to like, not looking for it. Yeah, you got to go sometime. You know. I mean, again, I'm trying to live as long as possible. Don't get me wrong, but if there's a virus that kills off the world, I mean, I don't know. Well, end of the world, I guess. The world's gonna end at some point, maybe. I don't know. I always kind of joke and laugh about that kind of shit. I'm like, that kind of stuff will never scare me. It does never prompt me from doing anything. But yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts, questions? I mean, we breaking out on the 10? This is where it's hard with pennants, right? Penitent men will pass. I mean, now you can draw it like, is it this? Is it that? Yeah, you got to go sometime. Got to go sometime. Again, I'm enjoying my drinks. If you hear it, I've got the fridge I bought was a Samsung Bespoke. It has like pebble ice, like that good small ice you get at, I don't know, is it Chick-fil-A or I don't know, certain restaurants? Someone will be like, Chick-fil-A, you can't say that. I'm like, no, they got good ice. But yeah, man, love crunching ice. Anyone else love crunching ice? I do. Better to live your life the way you choose than in fear. Exactly. That's what, thank you for pointing out. Because again, people who live in fear, that is not a life worth living. That sucks. Sucks. Intel, low of the day. Go. Go to the ground. Go to your hole. And Costco, get out. Get under 590, you little sucker. Mm-hmm. 10-minute wedgie. AMC is up. Man, I remember I used to get so much flack. I used to always just bag on AMC, folks. I'm like, you got to be a big idiot to buy this stock and hold for the long term. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, again, it's always tough to know what's going to happen over these weeks because, again, once the volume gets lighter, it's almost like the headlines get more crazy. Like 1 minute it'll be like Godzilla was spotted in Japan. Next thing you know, it's like they're showing headlines of people getting trampled for a Samsung TV at Target. And then it'll be peace in the Middle East. And then the next minute it'll be Iran is going to drop a nuclear weapon on Iraq or on Israel. I mean, it's just all over the place. Yeah, dude, Eric, you know the Intel chart pretty well. Now, we were talking about that the weekly. It looks so juicy. Juicy. Did you say juicy? Like, you got to be kidding me. Like, again, if it gets the 200 a week, it's like all in. I just don't know if it's going to do that. Like, these big green candles can be pretty toppy. I always talk about that with people. Like, and then the following candle can be like a doji or a, I mean, that's a little off there, I guess. I mean, again, it's not a 100% certainty. There's not been any really big greenies. Here's a big green, a small, big green, and big green, big green. I hope people realize, like, that's a tendency, and it's like you're going to see that at lows too sometimes. Like, big red, and then the following candle is the candle to get in. And sometimes it'll make a slightly higher high, sometimes it'll make an equal high, sometimes it'll play around. Again, I always talk about, like, the laws of the three, like, thirds. Like, it could be a higher high, equal high, or lower high. And be like, oh, I nailed it. And I'm like, if this ends up being the top, anywhere in this blue zone would be considered nailed it. But if you don't get the exact high, oh, you didn't nail it. Like, okay. Again, the market's meant to frustrate you. I tell that to people all the time. Like, it's not meant to be like, and that's where active terrorism. You don't want to put too much emotional capital into being right. Now, again, we want to be right. Like, so that's the hard thing here. Like, pretend this is a sporting, like, you're a coach. You're a coach of a football team. You make your call. Your players execute your play. Well, sometimes the defense stops you. Do you throw your headset down and you go, fudge, I quit coaching. I didn't get the outcome I wanted. No, now you got to go, okay, well, maybe I need to pivot, adjust, be patient, set up that play next time. I mean, again, it's the dumb analogies, but that's my point here. It's like the market is really trying to get you to be emotional. That's why computers are amazing at trading. Like, they don't give a shit. Excuse my language. That computer isn't pissed off that it got into a short and got stopped out. I mean, I try to have, like, no memory. I always love, my favorite analogy is, again, I mean, whether you like Tom Brady or not, motherfucker, did I say that loud? The bro could absolutely go ham and always raised up for the highest occasions, right? Throw a chair like Bob Knight. Yeah. I used to love Bob Knight. But Tom didn't focus on his mistakes in the past. He didn't go, threw an interception. Game over. We're down 24-6. Game over. He always believed he was going to win, but he's willing to adjust. Coaches told him what to do, and he believed in himself. You know, think of your favorite wide receiver. They rarely probably drop a pass, but when they did, you know, it's like, oh, I'm going to quit. I quit. Think about golf, because golf's a very good analogy. Sometimes, like, it's like letting a guy misses a putt, misses a 4-footer for birdie, and then the next time he comes out in the next hole, he freaking pulls his driver fucking 50 yards off line. No, it's like you didn't let that putt go. Now you're frustrated, you're tense, you're overthinking, you're not smooth, consciously just in the flow, and bam, now your ball is in the water, and it's like a good round is about to fall off a cliff. And it's because you let one mistake or one thing happen that you didn't expect knock you off your kilter. Trust me. I talk about this all the time. Like, meditating, going inside, your voices, those voices that are like yelling at you, like, you dumbass, you shouldn't have done that. Those are not, again, I'm going to rant on this for a second because this is the truth. Those voices that are telling you how stupid you are, or what you made mistakes, or you're dumb, or you shouldn't have done that, those are the voices from your past that haven't been essentially healed. I tell this all people, you're not a therapist. I'm like, no, but I know how this shit works. You don't need to be it's like, I don't need to know how to, I don't need to know how to have played football if I've watched football, tons of it. And I don't need to have to be a pro football player to know how to give advice on pro football or something. Think of it like Moneyball, homie, with the statistics. Like, no, like you can watch a lot of it. You can figure a lot of this out without having to necessarily have a degree in it. And the therapy mental part of this I'm talking about is like the voices that are talking to you. So like sit here, let's have a little powwow. This will be fun. When you are sitting quiet, are you the voice or are you the consciousness that speaks? You ever thought about that? Are you the voices that go through your head and like kind of pop out? The ones that are judging things, the one are describing things, the one that's labeling things. Is that you? Or are you actually the voice of like in control, that when you start consciously thinking, I want to go to the fridge, I need to go to work, I need to set stops. Is that you, or the voice that goes, you idiot, you can't trade, you lost money, you're a mistake, you're a mistake, your parents shouldn't have had you? What are you? Do you recognize that? Yeah, Niagara's a terrorist attack. Yeah, I'm sad to hear that. But I don't want to get off this rant. Who are you? Have you ever thought about that? Or do you think you're all of that? Well, guess what? You're not. Those voices that are like screaming negativity, do you think you came into this world? Do you think you came out of the womb with a voice that was like, you're a terrible child. You're a bad infant. You pooped your diaper, you dumbass. No. Do you know where those voices come from? Do you know where those beliefs come from? If you don't, guess what? That's a problem. No, the inner voice that is you, the real you, has no judgment. The inner you is humble, has humility, allows you to float through life, conscious, can absorb the energy, understanding, and the like flow. Like, do you guys not realize like the best times that we're in trading, we're like in the flow. We're not fighting it, right? Like we're not prejudging. Again, we're using evidence-based, but we're not prejudging the past or prejudging the present completely on the past. We're trying to like think of like we're allowed to absorb all variables, and then a judgment comes out. And sometimes it says wait. Sometimes it says act now. Sometimes this is the trend, is your friend. Like, again, you're using all of your experience versus like prejudging, going, well, since I lost the last trade, I can't win the next one. No. Don't do that shit. And so this is the whole point. What I'm saying is that, yeah, bam, it's right. It's school, society teaches. I would say it's even your parents. Between the ages of 0 and 7, you do not have a developed prefrontal cortex. You're basically an input machine, and the input you get, you don't know how to decipher whether it's right or wrong. So that's where it all starts. And so if you have limiting beliefs as a child, maybe your parents that never had enough money, or maybe you did things that they would yell at you and get pissed about and be like, stop crying, stop fucking crying, stop being a pain in the butt. Maybe they yelled at you and it made you feel certain ways. Do you think you ever really resolved those? I know I didn't until the last couple of years. I started understanding them. I mean, this is deep stuff. Now, again, this is why if you want to turn off, this is why I'll go into it at the end of these chats. But this is the stuff that's literally probably limiting you. You don't even realize it. You have subconscious beliefs that are literally have not been healed, understood, comforted, let go, that are still like these voices screaming for attention. Whether it's your child self, midlife self, different version of yourself at some point, all of them need to be healed. All of them. And some of the people come on here and go, attack. The world is just a mirror. If you're mad at me, you're mad at the market, that means there's something angry inside of you. Because if you can't let go of things, that means you're feeding those attachments. You're feeding those inner trauma with more energy of negativity is exactly what they fucking want. Right? Think about it. The child that gets angry wants to get angry, wants to find a reason to get angry. That's you. That's me. That's all of us at some point. Right? You feed negativity with negativity. It's just simple. Like you feel validated. If someone pisses, like if you're in a shitty mood and someone does something mad to you, it makes you feel good. It feels validated to be angry. Right? Vice versa, when you're happy and someone does something good to you, it's like, thank you so much. Feels good. And again, we all seek validation, but the interesting thing is we shouldn't. The only validation you need is your own. Your own self-worth is all that matters. And at a core, before you were, basically socialized, you had your own self-value. You knew just, hey man, at a basis, you're a good guy. You're a good girl. You're a good whatever you want to be. You're a good dinosaur. You're not hurting anybody. You're just trying to live, dog. So again, the whole point of this goes back to what are the voices and who are you? The consciousness or the voices yelling and screaming, the negative voices in your head. If you realize you have negative voices constantly, therapy, self-help, that is an addiction. That's another addiction. You're not fixing yourself. Because again, it'd be like, I always tell people this, hey, you want to go get in great shape, right? You get a trainer. You get, the best workout plan in the freaking world. You get Arnold Schwarzenegger to give you a call and tell you how awesome you are. That ain't making you strong, bro. No, you got to get in there and do the work. Lift the weights. Do the hard work. Well, what's the hard work for psychology and your own inner self-wiring? Shadow work. You don't realize, again, I love this stuff. Carl Jung talked about it. The stuff you repress is the stuff that could potentially control you without you seeing it. What does shadow work mean? It's the stuff in your shadow that you're not, you buried away. Maybe your mom and dad as a child told you you weren't good enough. And you heard it so often you believed it. But you don't think you really believe it because you're like, on a conscious level, I'm a happy-go-lucky motherfucker. Well, guess what? If that's what you believe subconsciously, all of your decisions lead to that. And people will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. I'll end it here. A part of me always, and again, I'll tell you this story. My grandfather came back from World War II in his 40s, and his dad drained his savings account. He basically came back with no money and no future. None. He came back and was just broke. And he basically had nothing when he got back. Think of it. Imagine all of a sudden you go off to war, do your duty for your country, and your father had drained your savings account. His brothers were all this isn't again, back in the day, in the 40s, grew up in the Great Depression. They were real hard on each other. Real hard. And so one thing that my dad didn't want to do is he wanted to make sure we had a lot of love growing up. It was great. Protect us from us. But you know what Grandpa used to always say to us? No matter what. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You don't know what it's like to have a hard life. You don't deserve, literally saying this to us as children, to get everything so easily. It doesn't make you tough. It doesn't make you strong. Well, again, anything compared to him was better. Literally anything. But he used to tell us that. I remember as a child, part of me didn't feel like I deserved life so easy. Had to be hard. It had to be hard. It had to be amazingly difficult to be worth it. You can't just go through life and it be easy at times. No, everything has to be the hard way. I believe that subconsciously, and guess what I attracted at times? Everything hard. That's not a belief that I believe in, but subconsciously, I did when I started doing more shadow work and understanding of my deeper subconscious. That shit was in there, y'all. Because that's, again, as a child, you're not deciphering the messages that your parents and your grandparents, friends, society tell you. You're just a freaking computer just soaking it all up and downloading it. Okay, that's part of the system. If this helps, leave a comment. Again, drop something, because this is the kind of shit that you don't realize that might be self-sabotaging your own trading. This is why you might get frustrated. There's a part of you that might have this deeper-seated belief that you can't get angry and you can't verbalize frustration because your parents told you they'd ground you. They'd yell at you. You don't even realize that shadow part of you is a part of you. And so I have an anger button. People don't realize yeah, dude, I have an ability. I have an inner anger. I got bullied as a child by my brother. I think I told some of y'all that. I mean, gotta love him if he's ever listening to this stuff. He knows that. I don't hold anything. But as a child, I had deep anger. But guess what my mom always tried to explain to me? Anger is a weak emotion. Don't let things bother you. Well, you can't let go of anger by just saying let go of it. You have to process it. So I have a shadow version of me that can be angry at times. Well, again, I can't say that I have to repress my anger. I have to understand it. Like, I can feel angry, feel frustrated, but I don't go, you're not allowed to feel that. Because if you don't, guess what happens? Those voices are your shadow. And as soon as you try to bottle up pressure and emotion inside of you, those voices are like a pot. And all of a sudden, or a kettle. And that kettle is boiling. And it's like the steam going. Those voices are actually the steam coming off of an emotion that's being repressed or a feeling that's being repressed. There's your $1 million comment for the day. Those are what those voices are. So let's put it back to trading. Rewind it all back. Why are these voices getting mad at you and telling you you're wrong, you're an idiot, you fucked up, you made a mistake, don't do that? It's because you haven't processed the previous trade potentially. Maybe you made a mistake, but you're not allowing yourself to feel frustrated. You're not allowing yourself to feel angry. You're not allowing yourself to have an emotion, period. And so now that inner pot is boiling and those voices are yelling. And you know how you fix those inner voices? And here, we'll wrap it all up. You acknowledge it. I made a fucking mistake. I did something wrong. What did I learn from it? What can I do differently? Is it okay to be mad? Yeah. If you lost fucking 10 grand and you're just like, motherfucker, let it go. Acknowledge it. That would piss me off. If that pisses you off, don't fucking say it doesn't. Don't sit there and go, well, I can't be mad about it. Wrong. Acknowledge it. The first step to letting something go is acknowledging it happened. Be aware of it and say, okay. And then have some grace. None of us are perfect. This is why I love this channel. I can verbalize this stuff. We can all share in our insights together. We all make fucking mistakes, y'all. Nobody's perfect here. The people that are pretending they're perfect are a bunch of lying assholes. I'm sorry. Nobody's perfect in trading. It's just not how it works. And so all of us together as a collective, understanding that, can be honest with each other. Well, again, if you're angry about a mistake you made, you got to process it. That's why sometimes the best thing in trading is time. Just, okay, I made a mistake. I got squeezed out. I got stopped out. Well, do you think the best thing to feed the demon, the anger, and it's not a demon because, again, I don't believe in that kind of crap, to feed the shadow, to feed the anger, the frustration internally that you have bottled up, is to go on and trade again? Probably not. Because then if you're wrong again, oh boy, now that kettle is like, say it was like, the heat was on like medium. Now the heat's on high. And all of a sudden it's boiling over. Now it's boiling over into your social life. It's boiling over to your marriage. It's boiling into how you like interact with other people. Now that anger inside of you that you did not let go of is just fucking boiling over everywhere. And you're frustrated at your spouse, your kids, your family, your friends, your life, your boss, whatever. Now, next thing you know, like that shit is everywhere. But guess what? You never processed it. And it's okay to get to that point because, again, at some point at every point in someone's life, you're going to make 2 mistakes in a row. Again, it's like the odds in trading. You're going to be wrong sometimes more than once. But I hope this really helps because I think there's so many people who come into trading and they don't think about their own mental health with this stuff. And again, I'm not saying I'm a mental health coach, but I'm just trying to make you aware of, like, you got to be aware of your own psychology here. Because the reason I think some of y'all know the story, like I realized like many, many years ago, I'd like lost 20 times in a row. And I'm like, how is that possible? And then I flipped the psychology and was like, if you can lose 20 times in a row, it means you also can win 20 times. Like you're clearly doing something and taking note of things incorrectly or looking at things and having judgments. You can also do the same. And again, how you process things is ultimately how you process how you feel about your life. Remember, the mirror. Everyone's a mirror. If I'm angry at somebody trolling me, what does that say about me? What about my self-worth should be determined by a stranger on the internet? And I used to let it bother me. Some of y'all used to be like, I don't like when people talk shit. Now I don't care. Right? Because it says a lot more about me to have to go on the internet and go, you're an idiot, Eric, Beth, you guys are stupid. No, that says more about me. But if my self-worth is low, yeah, it's easy for other people to shake me. That's for damn sure. Hopefully this has been helpful, because this is the stuff I'm telling you guys. This is the difference between winning and losing, is the psychology. It's the psychology. It's all the boiling up shit that goes, well, I can't short now. I can't short until this level. Okay, maybe that's your plan. Stick to it. Great. That's your plan. Stick to it. But if the evidence, as it's presenting to me, says it's time, I'm going to short it. But I'm not going to say, well, I can't short because it didn't. I had a losing trade last time. I processed that shit. I let them go. I'm over it. MoveOn.org. I'm over that. Uh-oh. Again, it's like the market is rewarding my anger. I'm just kidding. If you do the mental work, you're going to be a winner even when you lose. Yes, exactly. This applies to everything in life. Right? I'm telling you this stuff, the same thing. And again, as most of you folks realize and who've been here, I have to tell you, like, again, I applied the same thinking to my relationship with my spouse. Guess what? Yeah, keep talking. SPY breakdown. All right, I'm going to keep talking. No, I even applied this to this. I started realizing, like, why am I not applying the same kind of logic and thought process behind, like, I let something bother me. Thanks, Jordan, for making me, like, at least we can watch this together. Hold hands, kumbaya. Yeah, break the wedge. But this is the same shit. I mean, it can apply it to everything, y'all. Everything. Like, do you get mad at your spouse, your kids, your parents? How many people get mad at their parents because they're like, what the fuck? How did you raise me? I'm not anything like you. Right? There's a lot of folks like that. I got some good friends that are just awesome people, and they're like, I can't talk to my parents. Like, they're completely just off the radar. They sit around watching the news all day, and they're just filled with fear and headline risk. Right? They're just like, either they're extreme left or extreme right now. Like, they just sat there and they're like, well, I watched the news and Trump this and Biden that and the economy this and I'm getting my gas mask and I'm prepping. I got my bucket full of seeds. Are you ready for the end of the world? It's like, okay, all right. If I need that bucket, I'll let you know. I'll look at the 50 period on the 10-minute on the SPY. You little bastard. Do we need to do another 10 minutes? Man, this is already an hour. Yeah, hard to tell parents anything. It's hard to tell anybody anything, Bamf. That's what I've realized. I think I'm pretty knowledgeable in a lot of things. I'm not by any means the smartest cookie here. By any means. I think I try. I know I work hard. But you can't tell anybody anything. The only time people are willing to listen is when they ask you, how do you do that? You can't tell anybody shit unless they want to be told. And that's what I've realized. Like, I have taken, and this is where I stopped trying to really get deep into coaching on trading, because I'm like, this is how it needs to be. Even if they paid me money. But it's not like but here's their frame. This is how they want to do things. And it's like, okay, I'm just talking to a wall. Hitting the wall. Dink, 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 dink. Yeah, this is what I've recently come to the conclusion that if I tell people they may not listen or they know what I said. Come on, break down. Go ahead, give it to me. Break down, day through the night, break down. Sorry, I just had to do a little Tom Petty rendition. Yeah, it's the same shit. I stopped telling people what to do, thinking I was the smartest person in the room. And I think that's something you maybe pick up on your 20s, 30s, 40s. I don't know what life, but that's when you realize, like, it doesn't matter. My happiness is not determined about if you live your life. I stopped giving a fuck. Oops, excuse my language. I used to really care that everybody made money trading, following my advice, or trying to learn from me. I couldn't control, like, everybody's actions. And again, some of you guys have your own styles. That's nothing wrong with that. Ain't one way to skin a cat. I hate that saying because that sounds gross. Who would skin a cat? Where does that come from? What about, like, skin a deer? Who is skinning cats? Yikes. Oh, uh-oh. I guess we have a confirmed breakdown. Ding, 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 ding. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, cool. Congratulations if you picked up on this video. Jordan said watch the pennant wedgie on the 10-minute confirmation. Again, I expected this to go down. I just didn't know when, but I'll give massive credit to that. I said watch that. Look at this red candle blowing on it. I always like, the candle if it's a flame. Come on. Needs more oxygen. I can't see a headline. Let me go to Twitter. Yeah, I know a few useless facts too, again, I guess, essentially, right? So far, so good. All right, well, any other questions, thoughts, concerns, beliefs, ideas? You want to get something off your chest? Again, use the Coulling link. I'm not a fucking trained therapist, but I guarantee if you're having problems in trading, processes, mindset, you want a little coaching, ain't nothing wrong with that. Maybe you can give me some insights on some things. Coaching. Yeah, Jason's always called to sell off at the end of the day sometime early this afternoon. Yeah, I believe the same thing. I mean, this is what I fucking love. Don't we always love, we said sometimes you see the high or the low in the first hour of the day. Always keep an eye on it. There it was. There's the high. That's why the first hour and like the last, I don't know, hour or two after whatever lunch is usually the best time. That's why I like doing live chats during lunch because I don't think there'll be a ton going on. But bam. Oh, excuse me. Boom go the dynamite. Boom. Remember, what did I say? Tons of headlines and risk. Headline risk during this holiday week. I mean, where are my homies at? Anyone? Yeah. 2 dead in cars on the Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge was an attempt on terrorist attack. Godzilla heard the call. If you were hearing the call, I said, yeah, Godzilla's coming out from Japan. All right, man. I love this stuff. Again, if you have any questions, I should wrap this up because someone's going to be like, man, I have to listen another fucking 10 minutes you speak. Yeah, the candle underneath the desk. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. There's that meme. Yeah, the guy's trading and all of a sudden the candle grows out of his computer and just goes plows through his desk. Someone has that on the Discord room. Drop that. I'll show that one. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, again, I'm not trying to sit like, I'm a genius, but it's like, no, this makes sense to me. Why? How? Everything was lining up for some sort of pullback. Now watch it stay green for the day, and who knows? But we'll see. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? I love you guys. I appreciate all y'all. The love, support, generous donations, the thoughts. Just, again, challenging each other. Nobody's always right. If you have again, I hope people realize, like Sabalina, Rebecca, shit. Some of you guys, again, I apologize if I don't pull everyone, but you've had different ideas, beliefs, thoughts. You've been friendly enough to share them. You're right. I will give you credit all day. And when you're wrong, I probably won't say shit. Because guess what? Who cares? Wrong happens. Everyone's wrong. Everybody's wrong at some point. I want to give credit to the people who are right in the face of what was not the obvious call. I mean, Jordan, I think some of you guys, all you guys had insights. My only insight was after last week getting stopped out. I'm like, oh man, I think this thing is going higher. And they're going to pull it into a holiday shortened week. Probably going to try to pull it up. What level? 455 plus on the SPY. Pretty good, 456. I guess within $1, make a holler. A lot of these names we said, watch some of these upper bounds. Again, who knows? Like, did anyone see the SMH getting to 165 basically? No. Yeah, you got there. Microsoft? Like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? A new 52-week high? No way. Didn't see that coming. Especially after earnings. Look at that. Anyone see that coming? Nope. Intel, 44s. I guess you could have saw it coming, but I didn't believe it. I thought 40 was definitely the high. JP Mo, right? Again, here's us talking about mistakes. Like, really didn't think you'd be able to get over the 150. And you get right back to the highs. Get out of here. Look at this. Fucking head spinning. Microsoft pops on OpenAI soap opera. Yeah, exactly. Any other thoughts, questions, charts, trades? Just kind of flopping through some of you real quick. XBI, that looks interesting up here. XLFer. Come on, Goldman. I want to see Goldman smash. Good call, Ross, saying back testing the channel. I mean, again, it's like this is just... I don't know. Just be aware. So I'll end it on this. And he's like, you said you were going to end it on this previously. Whatever the top ends up being, if this is it, which feels highly likely, because again, it's another, like, this gap is going to fill at some point. You have to be aware that, all right, so this is how I would think it is. Here is now, here's the 27th, 28th, 29th. Again, it might not be a straight line, choppy. Could it get down here? Maybe. But this, and then kapow. That's how I would generally see it. Let's edit it. Let's make it the red line. That's my best guess. Because remember, there's going to be buyers on the first dip. Now, how deep does it go? And again, I hopefully people don't go, well, let me draw that exact line, 446. I mean, you could get there pretty quick. Just keep that in mind, because velocity begets velocity. But that's what I wouldn't be surprised about. And then some new money at the beginning of December. Unless all shit breaks loose. Like everything goes off the rails. And again, black swans, I mean, currency crises. This is the thing about trading, right? Like sometimes shit's going to happen out of nowhere. That changes it all. But I can't predict that. If nothing of the sort happens, then we probably get some dip buyers. Maybe could we get up to the, I mean, I don't know. Could Qs get up? I mean, Apple get to 195, all that shit other happen? Maybe, baby. But at this point, it's hard to bet on. All right, again, love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I'd be watching. Let me go back to the, I'd be watching. I mean, look what the low of the day was, right? It's this little area here, right, at 454. If that breaks, I don't know why you wouldn't come back to 451. Rapido. All right. Holler if you need me. Always here for y'all. Peace.